The Chicago Bears are obviously the topic of conversation with everybody. Adam Schefter will be joining us in 16 minutes, was on Pardon My Take. Barstool Big Cat on @Barstool Big Cat. Dan Katz, massive Chicago Bears Bear fan, puts the pressure on Schefter and basically says, what's going to happen? And he says, like, pretty much the Bears are taking Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I have heard about Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Him not throwing, no big deal. Andrew Luck didn't throw. Joe Burrow didn't throw. Kyler Murray didn't throw. I think RG3 actually didn't throw. And if you go way back, Peyton Manning didn't throw. Now, Patrick Mahomes threw. Tom Brady threw. C.J. Stroud threw. A lot of Lamar Jackson threw. A lot of people that have had success have also thrown. Like, I think Drake May should have thrown, personally, because he's like 3. Is he? Is he 2? Who knows? Is he 4? Is he 5? Because J.J. McCarthy's moving. We're big fans of Drake May. From what Darius Butler said about hanging out with him, like, he's a competitive dude. I was hoping that Drake May would say, I'm not going to throw, get on the field, kind of see what everybody's doing. You know what? I am going to spin it a little bit. I was hoping that would take place. He didn't. He'll have his workout. Nobody's holding it against him. You just kind of keep it moving. But with Caleb Williams, what I've learned is, hey, this dude loves ball.
Whoa.
That's what everybody has said, that they come out from talking to him. Now, his teammates are saying the same thing. People are saying the same thing. It's like, obviously, there's going to be a lot of talk about a guy who's being heralded as one of the greatest prospects in the history of the NFL, especially whenever he's playing in Los Angeles. He transfers to USC. He's already won a Heisman. He is who he is. He's very independent. There's going to be people that talk about him because this is the NFL's next one, potentially. But everybody said, like, his competitive drive, how much he loves ball is going to be the thing that nobody's really talking about publicly. That is the reason why he is the can't-miss prospect at number 1. Now, he's 6'1", he said, 6'2", 215, 205. Chose not to do any of the medical, which could potentially slow up the Justin Fields trade potentially out of Chicago, because are they certain that Caleb Williams is okay? Is there a reason he didn't do the medical? Is there something wrong that people don't find? Who knows? But the thing that I got from damn near everybody around there was like, Caleb Williams loves ball, and that is all anybody seemingly cares about. Ty, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's just interesting, too, because you look at all the stuff that people were saying, and it's one thing, you know, that you hear about.
Us, too, we were wondering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you hear about, like, his personality and, like, oh, is this guy kind of standoffish? Is he very L.A. and, like, all about the glitz and the glamour and kind of not everything else? But just based on what you saw on Twitter and what he did do at the Combine, like, stand-up guy, you know, didn't give off the impression. Again, you know, it's a job interview, so it's not, you'd have to be kind of crazy to go in there and just be a prick to everyone. But some of these guys in a position, like, absolutely could do that. But he was, you know, it gave off or exuded the vibe like, hey, this guy could be the one to run a franchise. Like, he's a good dude when leading up to it, like, that's kind of all it's been so far. You just mentioned
diva, baggage.
Character assassination, like, you know, and again, is that something where your other teams are trying to get him to maybe drop down so they can get him at 2 or 3 or wherever? We'll find out. But in terms of not throwing, it seems like he won the Combine as much as he could for what he did decide to do while he was there.
Now, we saw Peter Schrager tweet there about him sticking around and shaking everybody's hands that ran the event. That's like Colts equipment managers. Every time you see a guy get hit in the face, that's Powers. He's been an equipment manager for the Colts for a long time, since my time back there. Frog T, everybody's kind of running the drills. The last player, he shook everybody's hand. Okay, so you say that's choreographed bullshit. All right, maybe. Laura Rutledge then puts out a tweet, says, hey, whenever he stopped by NFL Live, literally shook everybody's hand on the set. Well, that's just bullshit. Maybe, I don't know. Robert Mathis from Gridiron Gang, he posted a picture and he said Caleb Williams, when he was in town, came and met with some high school kids that are currently in the Gridiron Gang Academy pretty much, which I am very lucky to be a part of. I give us $100,000 in sponsorships and scholarships to guys to go work out with Robert Mathis and Dan Muir, who are giving pro-level camps to people that would have never had the opportunity to have those types of camps. Caleb Williams stopped by, so it's like coming to Indianapolis, aside from not doing a medical, not doing a workout, and even if it is all bullshit, at least he's putting in the effort to do all the right things.
Right.
And if he's going to do that as a quarterback in the NFL, it's like, even if it's all bullshit, if he's putting in the effort to do all the right things, I'm cool with it, because you can see those and you can say, well, that was all choreographed, premeditated, that's not real. It's like, well, at least he's doing all the not real shit.
Hey,
that's,
get it.
You know,
Exactly.
like this is good news to me in my eyes. And I think Caleb Williams, from my preconceived thoughts about like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of that.
Yeah,
Whenever when his team and his family were saying, he won't go to these teams, he won't do this, it's like, bro, There's been a lot of Heisman winners who've come into the NFL. There's been 100-plus years of NFL football. Ratings are higher than ever. There's no offense. There has been a Caleb Williams or 3 or 10 that have come through the NFL before. That was my initial thoughts when you hear the family speak. But from everything that Caleb Williams has done, and who knows if the family's even said the things in the context in which they have been relayed, it's like, I'm a big fan of the guy, and I can't wait to see what happens with him. He DC guy. Commanders are at number 2. They're thinking there's a chance that the Commanders are going to try to like sell everything to go get him at 1. But from my learning, from my experience, big weekend for Caleb Williams, the human, as opposed to Caleb Williams, the diva, which is potentially some people's thoughts beforehand.
Yeah, and like what Ty said, like the character assassination, like I think the reaction to all those things shows how much damage was already done to him. Like from his last game till now, and like you're telling me he went to Robert Mathis and he was like, "Get your phone out, bitch, take a photo," so everyone can see me with these high school kids. Like I don't think that's what he's doing, but even just him messing around, like I think Brendan Rice, he was on the podium and he was given, his interviews as all the players do. And Caleb Williams went into the crowd and like asked him a question, just screwing around. Like
who
even
his dad
that kind of, like just joke. Yeah, who his father was. Like even just joking around, like stuff like that, I feel like is huge. And like for him too, it feels like a done deal. Like this is over. All the BS that came with Caleb and everything like that. Like, excuse me.
1 for 1.
1 for 1. I wasn't trying to spin it. That was just me moving it. I wasn't trying to spin it. You cannot count that as me dropping the pen on a spin. I was just moving it. But with that being said,
Connor likes to play drums on a microphone.
no, I don't. No, I don't
He likes
like to.
double bass.
No,
double bass.
I don't like to do it.
Now this is new you. New Connor.
Yeah, exactly. This is 2023 season, Connor, okay? And granted, the season really doesn't end until the draft, but we're on to 2024, okay? It is a whole different time. I'm not going to drop the pen. Forget about it, okay? But it does feel like Caleb's done, right? Like this, he is the first overall pick. There will be stuff. I mean, it's March 4th. From now till April 29th, there will be things that, have him fluctuate. We need to remember that so that if he ever becomes plus odds, gambling-wise, we can hammer him, because that happened last year with Stroud and Bryce Young, if you remember, where Stroud was the heavy favorite and Bryce Young was plus money. Granted, who knows how that.
Yeah, like one of these pro days. If Jaden goes out,
yes,
and it is massive,
bingo,
and then Caleb something comes out.
Sure. Yeah,
something comes out, and people start leaning like, oh, maybe Jaden, who wasn't supposed to be top pick, is now the top guy, and the sports books bite on it. Let's remember that.
Hammer Caleb.
Let's remember that it's Caleb.
Yeah, because he's the guy.
Unless something medical-wise does come out, which could be legit, which happens.
Well, and to that point, you had mentioned it about him not doing it at the combine, and that could slow some things up. But I saw this morning that the Bears already put him on the top 30 visit list, and they're going to get that out of the way as quick as possible. So it seems like he's going to be there. And Ty was talking about like the whole LA thing. Like he transferred there probably that's where his head coach.
Yeah, if Lincoln Riley would have went to Omaha.
Yeah, he chose to go to Oklahoma. Like that's where he chose to win. And then I saw a tweet on the internet which was doing very well about how there's 700 million barbers in LA, and Caleb has not gotten cleaned up. You could tell since the season is ending. And that man's been at work.
Yeah,
that man's been working on football.
I mean, the way they talked about, like, hey, you should hear the way his teammates describe him, like. Because they're doing a huge deal. They're doing interviews with the teammates. They're doing interviews with like equipment managers. You should hear like how athletic trainers talk about this guy. Like the way they're talking about like him is like he's legit. Don't worry about all of the. He's a superstar. Like that is. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL. There's going to be some sort of shit that's going to come with it. But everything about him, I just hope that he has the ability to play the same way he played in college in the NFL. Now, if he doesn't, he'll just adjust because he's competitive, loves ball. He'll be able to do it. But if he can be as elusive as he was in college ball in the NFL,